Launched in 2006 by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, Access to Recreation has inspired communities to think differently about how to provide recreation opportunities to include people of all ages and abilities. Embracing the principles of universal design, Access to Recreation supported visionary recreation projects in more than 40 communities across Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. These communities rallied to find local resources to match funding in order to open new worlds of recreation for people of all ages and abilities. In Michigan, 8 community foundations received Access to Recreation grants, allowing multiple projects in each location. Projects include interpretive trails in Mount Pleasant, Greenville, Midland, and Lapeer, playgrounds in the cities of Wayne and Monroe, and access to sailing in Traverse City. In St. Clair County, creative and innovative projects include an accessible treehouse and a canoe-kayak launch designed to allow independent use.
One of the things that appealed to us about the Access to Recreation grant was our location. We're near the water, and we have a lot of people in our county that enjoy canoeing and kayaking and hiking, so it was a natural fit for us.
The National Center on Accessibility promotes access and inclusion for people with disabilities in parks, recreation, and tourism. Based at Indiana University and established in 1992 through a cooperative agreement with the National Park Service, NCA has emerged as a leading authority on access issues unique to park and recreation programs and facilities.
The Access to Recreation initiative, I think, created new benchmarks in so many ways. It really did enable communities to be able to be creative, to be able to learn about and apply the principles of universal design.
We have 3 projects. The first is a completely accessible treehouse, and we built that treehouse in partnership with our Regional Educational Service Association. They were a great partner because they had some beautiful property, and also because they run the Woodlands Developmental Center, which is where children with severe mental and physical disabilities go to school.
The treehouse, how exciting is that? I mean, it takes you back to childhood and building them in your backyard, and But this is a magnificent treehouse, extraordinary. It is for everybody of all abilities. Children, adults, everybody loves it. So it's about a quarter of a mile out in the woods from where you entered Pine River Nature Center. It's along a trail. The trail follows a meandering river, and it's just like you're on a hike. So obviously, well, I've been disabled for 30 years, so I haven't been on a hike in a long time. And so for me to be able to experience this as perhaps an able-bodied, as temporary able-bodied we call them, would be able to, it was very exciting.
In addition, we have partnered with our County Parks and Recreation to have some accessible canoe and kayak launches installed throughout the county in some different geographic locations.
We have one man called me, he had a hip replacement. He said this was wonderful. He just went on there, he could just slide right into his kayak and go.
The new design is being manufactured for public sale, an example of how recreation equipment manufacturers have begun to realize that products designed to meet the growing needs of people with a wide range of disabilities are needed in the marketplace.
We have had an advisory group guiding us through the entire process, and from the very beginning we decided that this wasn't going to be just about the individual projects, but it was going to be about bringing some awareness to our community.
To build awareness, the group hired professional photographers to spend time throughout the summer with people that had various types of disabilities. The objective was to photograph them being involved in whatever recreational activities they typically enjoy and document the obstacles each had to overcome.
There's a legal definition for someone who has a disability, and it is a impairment that affects one or more major life activities. So someone who has difficulty walking, talking, hearing, seeing in their daily life. People do think of wheelchair users when they think of disability, and I think that's because we see the universal symbol for accessibility, which is that little stick wheelchair user. There are hidden disabilities or ones that are not as obvious.
It highlighted the way that people with disabilities are able to overcome a lot of the challenges they face, but it also showed that there are things they can't do that they should be able to. It was very eye-opening for people in our community.
And opening eyes has been a goal of the St. Clair Access to Recreation effort. It's been so successful that the county has undergone a transformation in how it views people with disabilities.
So this has been an extremely impactful initiative, both in terms of the number of people who have become aware of the issue of accessibility, and also a lot of our nonprofit partners have been affected as well.
I think there's a number of lessons learned that can be moved forward. One is that we can plan for inclusion of all people in the beginning, and we can move out of what were probably comfort zones that were doing it the way we've always done it, and then thinking of accessibility after the fact.
One of the changes that our foundation made, because we felt so strongly about this initiative, is we changed our grant application. So now anyone who applies to the Community Foundation to receive grant funds has to answer the question, is your program, project, initiative, building accessible? If not, what can you do to make it so? And really the answer to that question is less important to us than the phone calls we get that people saying, well, what do you mean? So we're able to educate them about what universal design is as a concept, why we are committed to accessibility in all of our projects.
You look around and you find, oh, here's something that can be changed.
I tell people all the time, this has changed my world completely. I walk down the street now and I look at everything differently.